in this world today? Do we want to talk about this, rumors, talk about hypotheticals, what ifs, and all these other things going on? Because the word on the street is that former Cincinnati Bengal 15-year NFL vet Domata Peko out of American Samoa, should I say, is joining the Buffs. He was seen in the background at practice. What would you guys take on that? We see the news that's out there. What do you guys take on that?
I got two takes on it, Chico, and they're vastly different. One take is what an exceptional and excellent hire it would be for Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffs. My other take on it is toward media who likes to jump the gun, and in an effort to be first, in an effort to just have clickbait, they don't let facts form. They just want to be first. Damn being right, they just want to be first. And I say that because these are writers who claim to have the best interests of the program at heart. They claim to be, Buffalo fans. They claim to be Coach Prime supporters and friends of the student athletes and friends of the university. And then they turn out to be the main ones who go out and claim that they talked to somebody and got verification of something just to be first, so their article can get the quote unquote most hits early on, I guess. And then when some of the stuff turns out to be true, it doesn't, in my mind, deter from the fact that they shouldn't have done what they did in the name of being first. So was Pico at practice and been around the building? Yes. But for someone to just go out and say, I saw him and I talked to somebody, it's official, when it's not official, I think is detrimental to Pico. I think it's detrimental to the program, because a lot of times these are sensitive, negotiations. They're sensitive conversations. People have other parts of their livelihoods that they have to wrap up before they move somewhere. And for people to just make assumptions and run out, have cock no pause and just say, well, I want to be the first one to say it, so let me cite a source because I saw On3 said it, and let me write my article based on what they said and make it like it's fact already, when it's indeed, as we sit here and have this discussion live on the Wednesday morning on the morning run, it is not a done deal. And then second to that, my other point was what a great hire it would be. And the way people are spending now will be. This is a brother who spent a lot of years in the NFL, a lot of years coaching, has been so successful as a player that when coaches who coached him as a player went on to be coaches at other places, they elevated him to coach. So he's been part of that Mike Zimmer tree, from having played under Zimmer with Cincinnati to then going to be on Zimmer's staff at the Cowboys. He knows how to get to the NFL, knows how to put people in the NFL, and clearly knows how to stay in the NFL with his decade-plus career. So exceptional person to join the staff, exceptional hire for Coach Prime. But my shot back is at the media who want to be the first to do things instead of being the right to do things. Do it when it's correct. Stop trying to be first. I think you have more followers. You have more substance. You have more people who believe in your credibility when what you put out is accurate instead of being the first one to put something out.
My sources said. So, Dukes, what do you think about the situation?
I come from media where being first is kind of like, it's just what it is, right? So I see it from both angles. But I think the most the thing is that there was always a caveat that you have to take that stuff back when you ain't right. And you can be a guy to be first on something. You could be the first to be right, and you also can be the first to be wrong. And I don't know either way. All I do know is that from the people that I talk to, that position hasn't been officially filled yet. So at the end of the day, like right now, when you have a fan base that rides the way the Colorado does, of course, other news factions and places want to say, "Oh, okay, look, y'all come over here because we got this." When the actual sources ain't putting it out. So, I think there's something to be said for that brand of media, and it's part of the world, right? And at the end of the day, but just because it's part of the world, like I'm not going that way just because that's part of the world. There's certain stuff that I'm just not getting down with, like period. Now, the fact of the matter is, he was at practice, so I get it. Now, if we talk about, let's say this thing does actually happen. Let's say that you do see the CU Buff football tweet out, we would like to officially bring on Domata Peko. From that point, man, I don't think you can hire a better guy, right? When you talk about the relationships that he has with Mike Zimmer, when the relationship that he has with Robert Livingston, when you talk about what he can do geographically, I think Chico, and Chico, you could probably speak to that a little bit more. Why he would be a good hire. I think there's a few guys in the pipeline that Coach Prime had his eye on, and I think this is one of them. But if until everything is official, it's hard to go out and say this is the guy at this point. Now, I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm saying until it's official. But if it does happen, I think it's a great fit. What's your take on it, Chico?
My take is exactly right. If it does happen, it'll be an amazing fit for this program. I think if anybody's been watching my lives for the last year or so, 2 years maybe, I've been calling for, more West Coast recruiting because I know we were deep and heavy in the South, Florida, Georgia, Texas, and we did a great job in California too because we have recruits from there. But I think that using like what USC does and a lot of the West Coast schools does, and that is bringing in Polynesian coaching, also former players that will help with that pipeline of recruiting places like American Samoa, Hawaii, Tonga, and all throughout the West Coast of California, where you have a large population of Polynesians, and they can play football also. But if we don't have a strong connection there, because their thing is family ties, their thing is culture, their thing is loyalty, so if we don't have, I think, anything to where that would attract that type of player to come to us, then I think most of them will gravitate and go to places where they do have that culture already established via a coach or multiple players. And I think that's what Pico is going to bring to Colorado, which they've had a rich tradition of in the past also, of Polynesian players who can come in and help with the culture. I guarantee you this. The players that he bring in will not be a distraction, would not be hurting the program, would not be a cancer. They're going to come in and fit in, do all the things correctly. They're going to fit the mold of smart, fast, tough, discipline with character. And I think it's only going to help Coach Prime to expand his footprint in the recruiting and coaching world of college football. So it's only a positive if this is going to pan out. So my sources say it's not completely done yet. So once it is done, then, we can celebrate this hire if it plays out that way.
Interesting enough, Dukes. Interesting enough, Chico. I saw a screen name in the chat by the name of Don't Give a Damn. And Don't Give a Damn said, but he was at practice, Neely. Give a damn. Like, do you know how many people at practice?
Yeah.
If we're going to justify announcing something early, announcing something prematurely, announcing something that has not been validated or vetted yet, just because you see somebody in the background with video, man, you know how long that damn list is of people who be at Colorado practice?
That's not coaching.
And all I'm saying, and again now, this stuff ain't top secret. It's public knowledge. These are public contracts. I get all that. All I'm saying is I want you to listen, Chico. I'm being specific here. These media outlets, that's one box, they call themselves friends of the program, alums of the program, supporters of Coach Prime, supporters of the football team, like all those people, media outlets that fall in that category. They go out here and do stuff like this prematurely. You're not helping the program. Because if you want a brother like this to be hired, then you have to let the process unfold, because anything detrimental to the process, such as a premature announcement, could derail the person being hired. I worked for years in economic development for the state of Mississippi, and I can't tell you how many deals get lost because a company wants to locate in such and so county, and we go in and tell everybody, hey, they look at here, they want to come here, and then here comes some mayor saying, hey, guess what's about to happen? And you know what they do? They move somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
People like to negotiate in private. People like to close up other certain affairs. And so, again, I'm not talking about this other media out there who's just all over all things Colorado. I'm being specific in what I'm saying. Those people who call themselves friends of the program, those media outlets who say that they're true Buff fans and that and the other, when you run out there claiming you have a source that I know you don't have, because there's nobody in Coach Prime's office, Reginald Calhoun's office, who's over operations, Ray Forset's office over chief of staff, that would have told somebody, yeah, this is a done deal. You can go do your article. That didn't happen. I'm telling you that didn't happen. Now, it can come to pass that in the next 12, 24, 36 hours, this brother's officially named as coach. But what you have done by being premature like that, you may have gotten 100 clicks or likes early on, but you've damaged your credibility and relationship internally. That's what I'm saying. So I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what you saw in practice or who you see in practice. That doesn't mean it's newsworthy yet.
He ain't lying.
Well, Chop Kick. Hey, let me touch on that real quick. Chop Kick, let me touch on that subject right quick, because I was listening to, of course, It Is What It Is podcast, and of course, friend of the program, Coach Prime, which is Cameron. And the question to Cameron was, back in the day, do you feel like you jumped the gun when you went on the air on the radio and told the world that you would become the vice president of Rockefeller Records? And Cameron said, yes, I think that might have hurt me in a relationship with the other guys at Rockefeller, because Dame told me that that was the plan, to make you a vice president of your own division. He didn't discuss it with his other partners yet, which is Jay-Z and Biggs. He just told this to Cam. Cam said, me being me and being a businessman I was, and me just trying to show people that I'm making moves after coming out of a bad deal, I went on the radio and jumped the gun. Jay-Z heard it. That caused a rift, because nothing was on pen and paper yet. Had I been a better businessman, I would have never said that out loud. And maybe I'll still be at Rockefeller. We'll still be doing some business or whatever. But that caused a rift throughout the whole thing, because I went on the radio without an official deal and announced that I was the vice president of Rockefeller Records.
Chico.
Simple.
Let me tell you something, Chico. Forget this first cousin and you the son of my mama's sister, and so I got to hang out with you. You just with that damn analogy and attached it to the culture, you just moved into to play cousin status. You for real, like you summed it up right there. That's exactly why you don't do things like that, because the risk reward of it ain't worth the risk. Right? Even if you're right, which Cam was right, he went on to get the position. Look at the damage that he caused when he got it.
Exactly.
Like folks, it ain't rocket science. It's human relations. It's learning how to manage and motivate people, how to get along with others. And so you got folks out here under the guise of journalism. They want their little site to get some clicks, so they run out there at 10 p.m. or something, with something they done heard. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. A broke clock is right twice a day.
You lying.
So just because somebody called something, got it right, doesn't mean they were right in calling it. That's my final point.
Absolutely. Duke, you want to end it on anything with that?
Nah, I think y'all killed it. Like, to be honest, when it comes down to it,
well,
it is what it is.
No pun
like
intended.
that. I see what you did there.
Or pun intended. So basically, long story short, like we've been telling you guys from the get-go, log in and lock in right now with us. We're not just on here for clickbait. We're trying to give you guys the factual and the actual. And this is the stuff you need to come back to. You know what I'm saying? Like, who said that back in the day? This factual and actual is the one. That's TLC, right? Y'all, come on, man. Step y'all game up, man. Let's go.
Hey, man, this Joker was sound man himself. I heard Dukes drop a ball that ESPN, which they had him sitting at the desk, and you hear crickets. This man quote TLC and give his damn self a homework. He just went back to first cousin status, just like I had just elevated.
I knew it. Keisha in love with me though. She said, "Yes, that's
already went back."
Just that fast. Doubly blessed twin mom, 09 in the morning.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know somebody's going to catch that. But anyways, that's the news and coming out of Colorado right now. Also, if you listen in, or if you notice that a lot of people are just running with that one article that came out, and they I think they're using that as their source. But we'll leave that alone.
And that's what's so crazy about it, man. It's like AI typed it as Wikipedia numbers and facts. It's like it's not even written. It's just like, hey, tell me about Pico, enter. And this was, and then other people are just rehashing, reprinting the same BS non-written story. Ain't no quotes from nobody. Let me tell you this. Let me tell the folks out there this, Chico and Deuce. When you're reading an article or you're on a show like the one we have right now, if somebody can't be quoted, something stink.
Bar.
You ain't got. I ain't talking about at the barbershop. Appreciate that. I ain't talking about at the barbershop. I'm talking about in this pseudo journalism world. If you can't say who said it,